Good toss. Oh. Forgive me, I'm trying to figure out who is working where, so bear with me until I figure that out. Sierra, I like your positioning at the C. In high school, we don't need to have a count from the trail, but it's still good communication because we had a count from the trail and also from the lead too. Whoever was in the lead, I'm sorry I have the names, but you need to make sure that you have your hand up a little bit tighter. Like that, it's good three-point mechanics right here from the center, 1732. It only took me 5 minutes to figure out who's working where. So we have Stephanie, Drew, and Matt. It only took me roughly about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Sorry about that. Drew, good foul call, but we're calling foul and then we're walking to the table. We need to hustle, report, turn. Stephanie, you could close down a little bit and not have to hurry about hugging that sideline. Just go ahead and get into your position. We got a one-on-one matchup. We can let Matt handle that call. Good. All right, I like that. That's a good move, Stephanie. Good rotation there. Perfect. Good. Good job, guys. I like how we had a jump shot up and we stayed in our position. We didn't bail out. Stephanie probably could have stayed since I think when you backed out, you got straight lined on that play. Definitely, when we get in there, we're gonna talk about your run up and down the court. I think we might need to get you to take a little bit, maybe some longer strides. Sure, we need you to close down on that jump shot. We want you to close down. All right, got to drive to the basket. That's a good no call. Good no call. That was a 13-10. That was a great no call. I think the offensive player initiated all that contact, and that's why they bounced off. Dipped their shoulder, bounced off that player. Good no call. Drew, we're going to look at this at 12:51. When you signal for that three-point shot, you put your right hand up, and that play was on your right shoulder. It might look better if we put our left hand up so we can see through that three-point shot there. All right, Matt. We had a play that went out, violation out of bounds that went out on the baseline, and you signal to point where it went out. We should let the lead take that play because it's their baseline and stuff. Drew, we should have had a whistle on that, the point where the ball went out of bounds. Not quite sure who it went off of or where it was going, but we need to have a whistle on that. If you didn't know, still blow your whistle and get some help from your center or from your trail official. All right, Stephanie, don't get too close to the play. Don't want to get caught up there. Matt, I like how you stopped on that transition. You didn't worry about getting to the baseline. You stopped. You saw the play all the way through. All right, we might have a foul there. Okay, good call, Drew. What do we got? Come to a decision. Who do we got a whistle? Is it coming from? Okay, Stephanie, good call. I think that was the correct call. That was 11:35 with the contact. I think we did have a double whistle on that, maybe even a triple whistle. I would like to see that call possibly come from the lead, but Stephanie, that was a good secondary whistle to come and get. The player was looking at on that. I'm not quite. I don't think he got fouled. We were straight lined on that, so we can't really call anything. Good call. Someone who's taking it, Stephanie, Matt. Okay, all right. 10:35. We had a little bit of a hesitation on whose primary call that was. We had a double whistle. Someone needs to take it and then go over to the table and report that foul. We have a timeout. Are we going to point out the shooter? Good job, Matt. We pointed out the shooter. We know who's going to be taking the next free throw. That was good communication on that. Drew, we need to get wider on that free throw administration when you're in the lead. You don't have to be that deep, but you need to, probably should have taken a step out wider, closer to the sideline so you can see that rebounding action. Close down, Drew. Close down. You're a little bit too deep. Help out. We need to help out our lead. We'll be better in your positioning if you took a step and got on the sideline. You could open up your angles and be a little bit better. See, we need to close down right there. I like that call. 9:27. Good pickup, Drew, on that reach-in foul. When we call a foul, we have our hand up, and then we can signal where if it's going to be on the floor or if it's going to be on the. Or we're shooting two. Now look where we called the foul at. I think it was closer to the baseline than where we put the ball back in play. We're almost at half court. There's a difference in that throw-in spot, and it looks like we might have put the offense at a disadvantage. 8:57. Was that a foul? All right. The play after that transition play, Matt. I think that foul should have come from you because you had the open angle. Drew, you saw through the play looking at that. It was a foul call, but I'm not quite sure, based on your angle and based on Matt's angle, who had the better look at the play. Free throw administration. Tell them 2 shots, 1 shot, 3 shot. Get him in, look at him, tell him to go. Put the ball in play. We could save a lot of time if we expedited our free throw administration. All right, Drew, we probably should have had a rotation there. I think there might have been a foul, but it was an and. We didn't have an and one, but it looks good. .747 travel call. Drew, we're going to take a look at that and see if the player moves his pivot foot or not. Matt, when you're in the C, looking at your positioning in the C, and then when the shooter goes up for the jump shot, we're diving down. I think we're diving down a little bit too low when we could just maybe take a step up, and we would still probably be free throw line extended, and we could see right through that play instead of going so low, diving down so low close to the baseline on that. It happened on 2 occasions before that, so we'll look at it again. Now look at you now. We're at 6:40 and you're kind of low. We had a small stoppage to play because I think the players thought there was a whistle on the court, but it came from the other court. Luckily, they played through that. Good call. Good call, Matt. That was a lead, a curl play headed towards the C. You held your whistle and you waited and you saw the whole play. And that was a great, strong C call right at 6:15. All right, we wasted about 20 seconds there trying to figure out if the team was within the bonus. That's something that we don't need to necessarily get too close to the table. We need to make we need to get the table's attention and ask them what the foul count is and not what if it's on if it was on either one. We just tell them what's the foul count. 4:48. Let's look at that play. First half. 4:37. Good call there, Drew. Drew, when you call a foul, there's a little bit of a hesitation on how to report it and administer that foul. You know you got a foul. Point to the spot of where it's going to be put in, or signal 2 shots, and then go and report. You got your other 2 officials there that have their full eyes are on the 10 players, and you can go ahead and start your free throw administration. Oh, I'm sorry, not your foul reporting administration, not free throw administration. That's a good no call at 3:43. That player was trying to set up for a player control foul, but the offensive player was much smarter not to initiate the contact and go right around him, and he was able to make a good layup on that. All right, Drew. High school mechanics. If we have a violation, if we have an out of bounds violation, we want to make sure that we put our hand up and stop the clock first, and then we point. I know it's a bad habit to break. I'm victim of it too, but you're a young official. And they want that at all levels now, so we can put our hand up and stop the clock. That's a good no call. That's 2:35. Marginal contact on that foul. I don't even think it was a foul. We just had marginal contact from the defender and the offensive player. The ball went to the basket. The defensive player didn't like it, but I think that was a good no call. 2:05 travel. Let's look at that and see if the player did shuffle his feet or not, or it was a play on and we could have let that go. From my angle of view, I don't know if that was a travel or not, but we'll look at that at the end of the game. Matt, you're still going too low on your center position where you don't necessarily have to move all the time, but if you back up and get a better angle, you may not have to go so low sometimes. We're gonna look at that scrum right there between 127 and 119 and see if there was a foul on the drive to the basket. We had possession, and then we gave White a timeout, but I'm not quite sure if the guy in purple may have gotten a little bit of contact on the way to the basket, but we're going to look at that. Just an FYI, during timeout administrations, we only need to get together and talk if it's at the end of the game situation, and we would just want to coordinate, end of game situation. But other than that, we should probably go to our positions where we're one person's at one block and the other person's at the other block, and then our third official is at the spot of where we're going to inbounce the ball. Drew, you don't have to fall in love with the 28-foot line or even the volleyball striker line. We should slide up more and get a little bit closer to the play, especially on the drives to the basket. We just did an interesting switch here where Matt called the foul. Stephanie came down from the C to put the ball in play, and then Drew is coming from the trail table side to center opposite the table, where Stephanie should have stayed. Drew, you should have went down and put the ball in play, and then Matt would have been trail table side. Good call there, Stephanie. 46.4 seconds. I think that player might have been a little bit upset, 32, that on his drive to the basket he might have gotten fouled. I don't know. I think it probably was a good no call, but we're gonna look at the replay on that and determine if it was a foul or not. But it looks like he initiated a lot of the contact on that drive to the basket, and it was a good no call. He was just upset, and that's why he fouled the player. Good rebounding action there. It looks like White's just having really a lot of trouble putting the ball in the basket from 2 feet away. Right at that play before he got into the paint, I think there might have been some little bit of hands by 12. That's a good no call on that drive where the player went straight up. That was a good principle of verticality right there. That's a good no call there too. I think that player just went straight up, and then 12 went right into them. But we'll look at that again. If we did go vertical or not. Initially I thought he went vertical, but looking at it, I think he might have gone into the player. Drew, I'd like to see you when you're in the lead position to kind of mirror the ball, just out of your peripheral vision. You don't have to watch the ball, but just mirror the ball out of your peripheral vision. We need to think when we're looking at this. We need to look at how we are moving in the lead position. I know I just mentioned this, but we could be initiating some rotations a little bit more. But let's just look at that. I'm going to mention that probably throughout the second half here and see if we did rotate enough, or if there are some opportunities where we missed a rotation or an opportunity to rotate. Drew, I think that was a good call. The player was definitely going to the baseline, and he got past the defender, and he really didn't have a whole lot of room to go anywhere, and he wasn't forced out. I just think that was just one of those issues where he was going where he shouldn't have been going. On that last play, Stephanie, when you're in the C and you moved out, I don't necessarily think that we needed to move out, just like on that previous movement right there between 12 and 44, same action, you didn't move out. You just stayed and the play came right in front of you and it opened right up, so you didn't need to move. Now on that drive to the basket that you had, Stephanie, probably could have stepped right in. I think that player right there at 740 got tripped. His legs got caught up. It wasn't intentional, but we probably should have put air in the whistle and called the foul there. All right, Matt, look at how we imbalanced the ball. We were inside when we should have been outside, and then we were probably about 3 feet from the end line, which we couldn't have seen if the player stepped on the line or if we had any type of violation by the offense or the defense. So just look at your positioning when you're in the lead and you're imbalancing the ball. Close down, Stephanie. Close down. When on that last jump shot that was taken by the player 32, it was on your right side. We probably should work on getting your left hand up or switching arms on that. We might have missed a foul call there at 16:58. Reach in. Yes, good call. Good call, Matt. I think that was a great push in the back on that rebounding action. Actually, that probably could have maybe come from Stephanie. I think she had a little bit better angle, but it was a good secondary whistle. No, that was legal. Good call. No. The only reason he got upset because you bumped into him, number 20. Stephanie, what we could do is we could use our voice on that, be like, no, this is what happened. Didn't go report the foul. Take control of the play. purple is winning this game 41-32. You can look at their faces and they look a little distraught on that. So hopefully we're gonna keep an eye on that throughout the second half. That was a three-pointer. Okay. We didn't have a preliminary from either the trail or the center on that play. The majority of the three-point signals, preliminary signals, are going to come from the lead. That's a good no call. All right, Stephanie, when we look at this on film, you're going to see that there was minimal contact from the defensive player, and that foul call was right in front of Matt. Let him live and die with that call. Okay, think about this, Drew. The ball went out on the baseline, even though it was on your side. It was Stephanie's line to take care of. You don't have to mirror her signal or anything like that. Just let her take it. We need to close down on that. Stephanie, that's good positioning on that play. You probably could come out and mirror the play a little bit more. Now, when we look at this at 11:57, Matt, you're going to see that the defensive player went straight up and across and didn't initiate the contact. And the only reason that contact was made is because number 12 had his arm out, and that's what caused him to go off bounce. And it wasn't a basketball play. I think he was trying to push off, and he got away with it. But we probably should have. It wasn't a player control foul because it didn't displace the player enough. We missed the shot, but we shouldn't penalize the defense on that. From just look at their action of how they were going to the ball. Stephanie, I like how you stay on the end line and wait till the ball is in bounds before you take a step onto the court. Drew, we're going to look at your run. Look how you run up and down the court. You need to take longer strides. Our rotation was a little bit late on that. Could have been a little bit sooner there, Stephanie. If we're having to run across the court to get a rotation, then we're probably a little bit late. All right, Drew, this is one where we could be coming a little bit closer to the play, maybe even pretty much half court when we have that backcourt count and end that backcourt play. We don't have to hug that first quadrant. We can be over in the second quadrant too. I see an issue where yes, good call, Stephanie. If we rewind this, go back about 8 seconds on this play, we can tell that the defensive player is going to foul the offensive player just the way the offensive player was sizing him up, and just about the first contact that we didn't get, and the way he was playing defense, you could tell that he wasn't going to let that player get by him, and he was going to foul him. There's another hand check on 32. All right, we might need to address that right there at 9-10. 3 came in with the rebound, got the ball back up. He turned around and looked at 12. We might want to address that and just look if we're going to have any issues with those two players. That's 3 and 4. There was no call. Good no call on that. All right. Okay. Good call there, Matt. We had 2 players on the ground. We probably should rush over there. Not rush over there, but we need to have 2 eyes on that play. We got 2 players on the ground after a hard foul. Matt, it's good that you froze on that, but you probably could have come in and taken a couple more steps closer to the end of that play just to make sure that no one got up and did anything. 53-34, 8 minutes to go in this game. It's looking like Purple is going to win, but we need to make sure that we manage the game as far as egos and as far as making sure that we're getting all the obvious foul calls, so no one gets all bent out of shape and no one gets hurt. All right, Matt. That was definitely was a foul. It was your third. It wasn't your secondary. I guess it was your third area coverage. Stephanie, I would like to have seen that foul call come from you since it came out of your primary and stayed in your primary, and you could just see that look on White's face that they're frustrated and they're going to foul. And they had that rebounding play and they got beat on that. So you got to look and see, like, all right, since they're getting beat on this play, what's going to happen next? You kind of have to think ahead and think ahead of what the players are going to do on that play. Drew, we should be over into the second quadrant coming from trail up the court. Stephanie, we probably should have got a whistle on that play. That was 6:35. Drive to the basket right there in front. It was a play coming to you, even though it was in that gray area between the lead and the C. You had the perfect angle, and you could see right through that play. Calling a foul right there on Purple is not going to affect the game. I think that that first one would be a game management call on that situation where it's not gonna give White any momentum of getting back in the game. It's just going to give White a little bit of a pat on the back and letting them know that, hey, we're still taking care of them. .520. We probably had a foul. We got a foul there at 5:10 on that drive. The 20 just took the guy down on the layup, and he was frustrated because he thought he got fouled right there at half court. We're going to rewind that sequence right there between looks like between 5:15 and 5 minutes on the clock. Obviously, 20 thought he got fouled. He probably did get fouled on that play. And looking at the score, it's a 23-point game. And just like I said before, when he drove, he's frustrated because he drove to the basket, he got fouled, we didn't put air in the whistle. He's at the top of the key, there's some contact, ball gets knocked away, we didn't call a foul. That's twice. And we had the hard foul, we let him get away with that, which probably should have been, we probably should have had an intentional foul on that, because he definitely didn't make a basketball play, knock the guy down to the ground. Got to have a whistle on that. So we know 20's frustrated. We're not saying that we're throwing 20 a bone, but we kind of need to look at the 23-point game, the clock's running, putting air in the whistle on purple is not going to have any effect on the game. It's just it's gonna gain control. It's gonna keep white head level. All right, let's see if we notice this in the last 4 minutes of the game. 20's got the ball again. He's gonna go to the basket. He's determined to score. If I'm not mistaken, they've been stuck on 36 for probably like the past 5 minutes, if not longer than that. I'm not saying that we're going to stop calling fouls on white, but we need to give an adjustment to purple. Like right there, that's a good call. Good call, Drew. That's similar to the previous play that we had there. Drew, leave the ball alone, Drew. Who cares about the ball? Ball's not going anywhere. Go, report, stop, signal, 50, push. 2 shots. You did your 3 signals. You were still moving to the table. Come to a complete stop and then signal. Foul. Good call there, Drew. Good call. That's a 10-1-4 hand check. We had a double hand check. We're shooting 1-1. It's good. It was 4:20. He's been frustrated the entire second half. You had to come across the court on that trail right there in front of the C. I'm sorry, we're not shooting 1-1, but that's quite all right. We got a good quality foul that went against purple in favor of white. They're a little bit frustrated. It's a great game management call. Clock's going to run. They're up by 21, so there's no reason why we can't continue to put a whistle on the play. That's a foul right there. Good call. All right, we got a double whistle there. You don't have to give it up, Drew. Be like, whistle on the arm, going up, 2 shots. Clock's running. Hey. 21-point game. You're not going to have any coaches complaining about putting air in the whistle on that. In a normal high school or college game, of course, the clock isn't going to be running. But we did good about having these last 2 game management calls. We probably should have recognized that sub before the end of the free throw when we had the dead ball when it went through the basket. We should have blown the whistle hard and got on that. It's a good no call on that. There was a potential for that to be a hard foul, but luckily the player backed off on it. There's a lot of things that we have to think about and really anticipating on what players are going to do. All right, good job, guys and young lady.